everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Buckaroo Designs, and I've got a really sweet card to show you today. It features two of my favorite stamp sets, one being the Many Blessings from the Holiday Catalog, and the other being the Buffalo Check background stamp. Now I got to show you, it's a little bit of a fancy fold. I think you could call this maybe a gate fold. See how that works? And it's a fun way to use this stamp set. To create something not terribly fallish. I always think maybe the sunflowers are quite fallish, but I used Pineapple Punch here to make it bright and cheery. All right, let's get started by first stamping our Buffalo Check, and I've already got it on my Stamparatus. And what I did is create a grid. We actually did something like this at a class recently, and so I wanted everybody to put their paper in the perfect spot to stamp. So I made a little grid with washi tape. That's 4 1/4 by, 4 inches by 5 1/4, so that it'll fit on a card front. So I'm just gonna lay that in there, and I'm gonna put this stamp case underneath over here. Move it over a little bit so you can see. That kind of makes it flush and easier to stamp. Now, one tip I have for you when you are using the Buffalo Check background stamp, well, my first tip is to use the Stamparatus. That just makes it pretty easy. My second tip is to make sure your ink pad is nice and juicy. If you make sure that your pad has enough ink, you'll really only need to stamp it one time. All right, so I've inked all over it. Make sure my paper is exactly where I want it, just in case I need to stamp it again. Because sometimes with our background stamps, we miss a spot. Let's see how it looks. Beautiful. We don't need to stamp it again, I don't think. But you know what? Let's do it just to show you how easy it is. If you think you missed some spots or you want it to be darker, you can just lay it down and stamp it again, and it's going to remain in the same spot. Let's see. All right, beautiful. All right, I'm going to take that out. I'm going to set it aside to dry, and we're going to do the super cute little sunflowers. Now, I stamped this ahead of time for one reason. When I use my Stampin' Blends, you always want to stamp with Memento Black, and the Memento Black never smears for me except when I do yellows. And I have found the only thing that you need to do is give it some time to dry or hit it with your heat tool. So I stamped it about 10 minutes ago to give it some time to dry, just because of the video. Now I have stamped it on a stitched square. This is the second smallest stitched square framelit. And I'm going to use both Pineapple Punch and Daffodil Delight to color my sunflowers. I'm going to always start with a lighter color. So this first one I'm using is the Daffodil Delight. And then I'm just going to kind of go around that center part with a darker color to add some dimension. And then I think I'll do this one over here with Daffodil Delight also. I wanted my sunflowers to all just kind of be different shades. Sunflowers aren't all the same. I'm sure you've seen lots of different sunflowers. There's even orange sunflowers. All right, I left my markers open while I was working for easy access, but when I move on to a new color, I make sure to close them up. All right, now Pineapple Punch in light, and it gets a little tricky when you get to these small ones, so make sure you go slow. And let's do this one. Hopefully I'm not getting my head stuck down in there. Go around with the dark. And one more down here. And some dark. Now for the centers, we're going to use Crumb Cake. You could also use Soft Suede, but I found that the Soft Suede was quite dark. And so I wanted to keep it a little bit lighter so I could make those little dots there dark too, the little seeds. So I'm going over it with light, my light Crumb Cake. And then I'm going to do those dots there in the darker crumb cake. We've got some little dots down here, the little seeds, so go over those too. All right, now for the leaves, I'm just going to use Old Olive. And I'm going to start with a light. And because these are so small, I probably won't add any dark in there. When you get to really tiny spaces, sometimes it's hard to add in that extra shading. I think down here I could do a little bit, and maybe right here. Oh, maybe right here. I'm going to get carried away. I better stop. All right, there we go. I added just a little bit of the dark. Now I'm going to use Real Red for the vase. I like the way Real Red looks with yellows. So I'm going to start with a light, and I'm going to go around carefully around my petals and the side. All right. Then I'm going to leave that open. I'm going to take my dark Real Red and kind of go in the same path, although not quite as far out. I'm leaving that center white to kind of create that shine mark in the middle. Now I'm going to go back with my light and pull all that color towards the center, and you'll see how it's lighter there in the center. All right, so the last thing I like to do is to take my light smoky slate and just kind of go under each one, creating a little bit of a shadow to ground it, so it's not just floating around out there in white space. All right, there we go. So cute. Now let's layer it up. Let's put our card together. I have already cut out a Daffodil Delight scalloped square, and I'm going to put this on with dimensionals like that. And then I'm going to cut this down. We need to cut this piece down so that it'll fit on those front two panels. And this is, remember, this piece was 4 inches by 5 1/4. So we're going to cut it down to 2 inches. Now all of these measurements can be found over on my blog. I did a Facebook Live video showing 3 projects using this Many Blessings stamp set. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can hop over there, and the link will be down in the description on YouTube. And you can hop over to that post, and there's a PDF under the 3rd picture that has all the measurements and products that I used. All right, now this is a piece of 2 inches, 2 inch by 11 inches soft suede, and I'm just going to fold it around like that so that it's overlapping on the back. All right, but before I attach it, now that I know where it's folded, I'm going to take the little dot stamp, which are the little seeds, and I'm just going to do some little cute little polka dots around on the front panel of this soft suede piece. I like that they have these little seed stamps. Cute. All right, so now we can go back over here and wrap it. And we're going to adhere it to itself, not to the card, because this is a belly band and we want it to slide off. There we go. See how that slides right off? All right, now, oops, I have an open one right here. This is Poppy Parade. And actually, I told you wrong. The vase is Poppy Parade, not Real Red. So the blend that I used was Poppy Parade. We have several different reds, and Poppy Parade is a fun one. Really goes well also with these yellows. All right, so tie your bow. I don't want it too terribly big, because then it'll create a lot of bulk on my card. So just keep adjusting like that. And we're going to take dimensionals here and put that right there. How adorable is that? Now, let's do the inside. We're going to put a little panel on the inside for the sentiment, and it's also 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I forgot to pull out this stamp. So I'm going to pull it out. It says many blessings. And let's see, we'll stamp it in soft suede. And then we're going to get the cute little sunflower and kind of stamp it a few times, as well as the little dots. Maybe one up here and one at the bottom. And then let's take our crumb cake blend and just color in the inside. And there you have it. Now let's put it on the inside of our card and put it all together. There we go. And slide this on. And we are done. There you go. What do you guys think? So fun, so cute, and not fallish. It could be summery or springy. So you can see that this Many Blessings stamp set could really carry you through the whole year. Check it out in the 2018 Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog. Make sure you hop over to my blog to get the measurements and the product list for these projects. Let me know if you have questions. Thanks. Bye-bye.